welcome to Political Fight Club, you guys. This episode's about the squad and how tired of them I am. And I apologize in advance. I got my vaccine earlier today, so I got a little bit of a fever going, and I'm a little loopy, so apologies in advance if this video sucks. But basically, I gave AOC a whole bunch of credit for putting forth that resolution to block the $735 million going to Israel. Now, again, I understood that that's largely symbolic, and there's no chance of that resolution living through the House, nor the one that Bernie put up in the Senate. I get that. But what Bernie did in the Senate is likely going to get us our hit list, because he is forcing the vote to shoot down the resolution. So that's a good thing, and I gave both of them credit. And now I have to go after AOC again, and I have to go after Rashida Tlaib again, who I was just praising for like 2 days ago for getting in Joe Biden's face. So I'm going to talk to you about what these two knuckleheads plus Jamal Bowman did. And I also want to talk to you guys about something called the rotating villain. And this is a term coined by Glenn Greenwald. And this is the rotating villain in front of us right now. So I want you guys to learn to recognize it when it happens, okay? And I'm going to explain it to you. So what did they do? The squad split their vote with three of them, the three that I'm named, Tlaib, Bowman, and AOC, not voting for the Capitol Police budget. So it passed by one vote, 212 to 213. So it means that any one of those three votes to shoot down that budget, which they should have, it's $1.9 billion for Capitol Police, which I'm going to read to you exactly what they're investing in, but they don't. They didn't vote as a block, they didn't, and it's always mighty fucking convenient that stuff like this always loses by one vote. With these three, any one of them has so much power. If just one of them had voted the correct way, and then it would have been blocked, and then you could have, $1.9 billion to Capitol Police is a lot of money. And then you had AOC going out afterwards and boo-hooing about post-traumatic stress and comparing it to being in a war zone, which is, God, she's dumb sometimes. The optics of that are so bad. She got dragged because it's obviously not like war. I've seen people that have more PTSD from paintball games than you guys had, but I digress. So any one of them could have made the right choice and stopped this, and they didn't. So what is the rotating villain theory, or the colloquialism that Glenn Greenwald has been talking about and now is kind of permeating through the left? I want to point out that two of those three I praised earlier this week, right? That is by design, okay? So what they do, here's how the rotating villain theory works, is when it comes down to a big vote like this, all of the squad, and probably even the Democratic elites, get together in a room and they go, listen, we're not drawing straws for who's going to vote correct with us, the neoliberals, the centrists, the corporatists. We're going to pick the people that have been doing stuff that has been getting a lot of press, good press on the left lately, Rashida and AOC, because they're the ones that are least likely to get the backlash. Because everybody goes, hey, God, I hate that they voted this way, but they did do something good earlier this week. People like me are less likely to do it. But of course, I'm objective, and I actually am giving them zero credit and just shredding them in this video here. But there are a lot of people out there that are relatively educated in politics that go, God, I'm mad that Rashida and AOC didn't vote right on that, on the Capitol, $1.9 billion Capitol Security Fund. But they did do a good thing trying to block the $735 million going to Israel, and Rashida did get in Joe Biden's face in all those pictures on the tarmac, so I guess I can forgive them. That's by design. It was not random that AOC and Rashida didn't vote correct on this. They did it specifically because they were the least likely to get blowback from everybody, because they've been recently in the news for doing good stuff lately, including on this show. They do that because they have to rotate the villains in there. The people that are doing other good things that have gotten a lot of news recently are the ones that they will pick as fall boys, fall women. The guy that goes down on a bad vote, because they're least likely to get the blowback. So I don't know why they put Bowman in there. He's utterly useless, and I haven't really cared much for him even since he was campaigning. He's like one of those, absolutely, he's not even really a Justice Democrat. He's more like Ayanna Pressley. So this was by design, guys. So I want you guys to recognize from here on out, when there's a big vote like this, and this just does not make sense, like why these people would vote for this gargantuan security budget for the Capitol. Look backwards in the last week or two previous to the vote and see what they've been doing. They got a lot of good press. You'll see a pattern. That's the rotating villain theory, and that's what is happening here. That's why Tlaib and AOC took the fall, because they have been in the press in the last 4 days doing good stuff on Israel-Palestine. That's by design. It's a rotating villain theory. So, real quick, I want to read to you guys from The Intercept exactly what this goes to, this $1.9 billion. The supplemental included uncontroversial items such as funding for accrued overtime and mental health counseling, but the broader measure raised fundamental questions about accountability and the permanent creep of security forces that have turned the U.S. Capitol into a fortress. The bill would harden entrances to the U.S. Capitol and include funding for rapid response. In a break from the past, the bill allows funds to be spent providing security for individual members of the House that the Sergeant-at-Arms deems a particular risk. Currently, only top leaders are afforded such protection. And I'm not necessarily against stuff like that, but listen to this. The bill includes $350 million for, quote, complex emergency response infrastructure, which includes $100 million for, quote, security screening vestibules. It stops short of making the fencing permanent, though it provides funds for design, installation, landscape architecture to maintain a retractable security system as part of an interconnected security of the United States Capitol grounds, adding that such funds shall not be used to install permanent above-ground fencing around the perimeter or any portion thereof of the United States Capitol grounds. So they're actually going to completely renovate all the landscaping so it's harder to, access the Capitol. And this is $350 million they're putting into stuff like this. That's an immense amount of money. It could solve a lot of problems. And here's the thing, you guys. And here's their dirty little secret on this whole thing. Part of the reason the squad doesn't shoot stuff like this down is because they know they're going to continue to suck so bad in the future that they're not going to solve any of the problems that led to there being the riot at the Capitol in the first place. If they were in there to do absolute change of the system, if we all got Medicare for all and a $15 minimum wage and free public college, there would be no reason to ever storm the Capitol. But they know things are going to get fucking worse because they're not doing anything, self-fulfilling prophecy, so therefore they have to vote for extra funding at the Capitol because they're not doing a good job. If they did a good job, there'd be no reason that anyone would want to storm the Capitol in this country. That riot and other riots are the language of the unheard. And rather than hearing us, they're just voting for $2 billion to go to the Capitol Security Force. Like I said here, man, or they said here, it's a fortress. How much are we going to allow this to happen? Soon there will be walls around the Capitol building, and they'll go, well, it's because, we're increasingly in danger, but then they never go back to what the root cause of why they might be in danger in the first place is, because they're not helping out the mass of people in this country. They'd rather just set up a fortress at the Capitol like the fucking Hunger Games. It's unbelievable, man. So I gotta call out these shitheads. I feel like I flip-flop sometimes on this stuff, but I think it's just because I'm objective. Like, I will give them credit where it's due, but I also, on other days I'm furious with them because they do something stupid. So at least, I'm doing my best to analyze things objectively. Keep fighting the good fight out there, guys. I'll talk to you later.